Welcome to Lycomingfootball.com. We're into week number 2. Lycoming comes off a tough game without their starting quarterback, which is no excuse, but in my mind, that's a tough start. Brockport, a good team, which the team I said Lycoming might have their hands full. Looking at last year, they had some close games against great teams, and they were no slouch coming in. So 24-2, we haven't scored yet, but there were some bright spots out there. I guess that's one way to get a new quarterback under fire.
Yeah, I mean it was not the way you draw it up, John. But they were good or they are good. I don't know if we took them for granted a little bit. Got caught looking ahead. But they're a very, very good football team. They were big. They were physical. They controlled the ball better than we thought they might be able to. And defensively, we just couldn't. We ended up in really bad third down situations. And so you got to take your hat off to them. They were good. Zach not playing. Like you said, it's probably more of an excuse. I mean, he's clearly our starter. But Tyler Jenny did a great job coming in there in his first college start. And, I think that had we had Zach to throw the ball 42 times, we would have still probably been in trouble. It's just not who we are. So to ask Tyler to do that in his first start, we just got completely off schedule and away from the game plan. And, again, that's a credit to Brockport. So we have a lot of things that we're working on this week to try to get ready for another very good team in Delaware Valley.
Well, you got one game under your belt. You can see some of the areas that need improvement. I think the running game wasn't quite what you would like it to be, so we're kind of one-dimensional in that game. You have to have a good running game, and I'm sure you worked on that during the week. But we come into DelVal, one of the, I heard you say over there, gold standards of the league. I mean, they're a great team lately, year after year, and one of our biggest rivals. So both teams are 0-1, and it's a big game early for each one, and each team hasn't had a whole lot of game experience. So you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, John, I think that we would, and Jim Clements might agree with me. I mean, neither one of us would like to be 0-1 right now. But you got to let that one go. Both of us want to be 1-0 in the conference this Saturday afternoon. They are the last couple of years, right? They've had a share of the last 4 league titles. They're the preseason #1 team in the coaches poll, and they're very, very good. But we think we're good too. We received first place votes in the coaches poll as well, and neither one of us again wants to be 0-1 right now. But in the grand scheme of things, there's only one automatic bid from our conference, and that's going to go to the MAC champion at the end of the year. And so this is a critical game for both teams.
I don't know if it's too early or if you can even say. Do you know for sure who might be starting Saturday at quarterback?
Well, they're both practicing, right? So Zach is back and practicing with the team, and as long as things continue to go the way we hope, then I would assume that Zach would start at this point. But Tyler showed last week he can do some stuff, and he's still getting some good work this week. He's going to be a very good college football player.
I think so. To be thrown into that game and over 50% completion record and a tough defense he was going against, no interceptions, so he wasn't crazy in throwing the ball away, when the coverage was there. I was fairly impressed, and I guess close to 100 quarterback rating, so not bad.
He did a nice job. Again, we asked him to unfortunately have to do some things, and mid to late third quarter, kind of put the team on his back and go 2-minute offense with 25 minutes to go in the game, and that's never really how you draw it up. So again, he's a smart kid. He's got a great arm. He's athletic. But Zach has 20 starts. Zach has been a leader and a good player on an 8-2 team. Zach's been here as we moved up. So, again, I think it's a good situation to have, knowing that Tyler now has some experience. Should something happen to Zach?
Defense. DelVal's always had a great defense. Their coach was the defensive coordinator, and what do you expect them to throw at you down there?
Well, I think we're similar defensively in terms of athleticism. Neither group is really big, but both sides I think are really athletic. So when you look at DelVal, I do think the Shaw kid on the D line is he creates some problems. All of their linebackers are athletic and really run around. The number 1 kid, Delicio, he's good. Number 8, they moved inside from outside last year. Very athletic. 21 at safety is a returning starter. So they've got some pieces. They're very solid defensively. They limited Rowan last week. I mean, Rowan ran the ball but had very little success passing the ball in terms of the yardage numbers. They threw for under 100 yards. So it's the same kind of group. They're not real big, but they're incredibly fast and they move around. They don't just they don't just line up and play. They do a great job of causing some havoc, I think maybe is a good way to describe it. They just, Jim does a good job. I mean, he creates problems for offenses.
Our defense, we lost Ray Bierbach and Anthony Mauricio. Is it the scenario of looking for some leaders there to fill in?
Well, yeah, I mean, you always need kind of the next group of guys to step up, John. And if you want to stay good, and as Delaware Valley has, as a group leaves, you just can't dwell on who's gone. And it's easy to do that. I mean, you wish Anthony were still here or Ray were still here, and you could say that at every school in our conference. But, you stay good not because someone becomes the next Anthony or the next Ray, but because somebody becomes, Ryan Fenningham becomes as good as Ryan Fenningham can be, or Matt Tallarico, or Kabongo Bukasa, or, Dwight Hens and Roger Jane. I mean, those guys, for us to stay good, the obligation is for all of our players on both sides of the ball to become as good as they can become. Right, so because you just can't. No one's going to be Anthony, right? No one's going to be Ray. They may be similar, but you're not going to get exactly the same thing. So you've got to find other ways to stay good.
Well, we're looking forward to that trip down there. It's always fun going down there, and hope you have a healthy game and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, John. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's a great challenge. I think both of us, after last week would maybe prefer, maybe a lesser opponent, but it doesn't matter. The schedule's out. Both teams are good. Both teams have high expectations, and I know that myself and our program and Jim and his program, we're not making any concessions, right? We both want to leave there Saturday at 4 o'clock with a win and be in first place in the conference, so that's what we're going to try to do.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, John, thank you. Yep.
This is a production of LycomingFootball.com, your 2012 Warriors connection.